Cyrus, welcome to Director's Notes, and thank you for talking to me about the Red Suitcase.
Thank you for inviting me.
You're welcome. So I wanted to start by asking you, why did you choose this story to talk about sort of women's rights and the fight over in Iran at the moment?
So actually I have a family in Iran, and so my parents are still connected to them. And we had this discussion 2 years ago when my mother suddenly told me that she heard from her friends that women are disappearing. As soon as you say something, that this headscarf is not well done, well put, And yeah, this terrified me because I thought that nobody's talking about it. So and then said, come on, somebody has to do something, And then I thought about the short movie, It could have been something else, but I thought about the short movie.
So how did the story form together then to what we see?
Yeah, so I decided to have my first leading character, Persian Iranian girl with a headscarf. And then I was searching a situation where I couldn't put her, and which also can be stay in Luxembourg because, I cannot go in Iran. I will have problems. So make it somehow here. And then I connected very fast to an airport because that's the way she could come. And usually airports are the places where you go in holidays, where you have good times and so on. I said this would be perfect to show a place which is normally looking where you have fun and which is somehow her prison.
Yeah.
Exterior prison and internal prison.
Yeah. And the airport, it represents so much as well, because you've got that search, where customs bring her in and it builds that tension. But I think what I really liked as well is the airports, it's very quiet. So when she's, hiding and sort of, keeping herself away, it's not busy, and that sort of represents the threat more. How were you able to film that sort of game of cat and mouse that she has?
Yeah, so the fact is that that the threat is there because he's there and she's somewhere else. So we say the threat is not so tense.
Yeah.
But suddenly he knows that she has a red suitcase, so it's getting closer. So then she finds a way to hide it, and then we say, okay, it might work out, And suddenly he finds this paper where she had the money in the rubbish, and then he knows that she must be really close. Then again, the threat is there. So the threat is always I let the audience breathe a bit, and then suddenly getting very close. Like the bus is leaving, we are happy it's done. No, he's stopping. What's happening? No, it's not him. And suddenly the moment we have a bit of trust that we can work out, suddenly he's already there, And he's entering the bus and actually the door is closed, It's getting more and more tense like this, a bit of breathing and then a bit more tense.
Yeah. It does. It shows that it is when you're watching it, you're like, oh, she's fine. Oh, she's not. How did you build his character? Because on the surface, he's not threatening, even though, it's quite a nefarious sort of purpose and she's so young, but he's, he sort of seems almost friendly. He's there with his flowers until he starts fighting, with the father. How did you build his sort of threat level and the menace in his character?
For me, the threat level is that everything for this man, it's somehow coming from the money. So that's why I wanted him to be very cleanly and good dressed, like he's taking her for a ceremony. It was important for me that he has a very rich watch in his hand to show somehow his power. And then slowly we understand that he thinks, I bought this girl, so she belongs to me. So in this, even if it's not sounding threatening, it makes him threatening because he's powerful, because he's rich.
Yeah.
Somehow.
Yeah.
And in the beginning, he's nice, and you see when he's in the phone with the father, he's getting more and more tense, and you see that there is no friendship. I have a problem. He's shouting at him, and
yeah, it becomes very transactional, and
also when he's getting stepping inside of the bus, everybody, get silenced, you know. So we are somehow scared of him, even if he's looking good and you know, he reacting sometimes. I wanted in the moment where he's not fighting and he's doing like this to put a bit of humanity in him, you know, because he's a human, but even he's not nice.
Yeah. One of the things that struck me as well is I was desperately wanting someone to help her. So there's the woman at the money exchange who can see how scared she is, but she doesn't help. And then the people on the bus, they can obviously see there's something going on, but nobody helps. What were you speaking to?
Because the first step has to come from the girl. The girl has to say something that then everybody will help.
Right.
But she was raised in a way that she cannot believe it's possible, because she has this domination of this powerful man. I mean, more powerful you cannot be, a father, and the Iranian powerful man who thinks that this is belonging. So it's very difficult to be raised like this and to think that help can come. If she would have been raised in Europe, she would have gone to the police, said, this guy, you know, I don't want, you know. But it's not the same education. This education of you have to obey. Yeah. This is how is the woman in Iran right now. You need to obey. You need to keep your hijab, you know.
Mm. So, I mean, the situation with the hijab and Nawelle's performance is just unbelievable when she's there in the bathroom and she's removing it. How did you work on her? Because she has this real vulnerability, but also incredible strength. So how did you develop her performance?
She decided that she needed these tears. I said, I don't want anything from you. I just want you to be real in this situation. I don't want to push you to give me tears for my shot. No. I want you to be real. I want that you go through your feelings, and I just want you to know that when you're taking this hijab off, you're somehow going against your family, against your education, against everything what is on your shoulder to put you in this situation. And while doing this, I want you to take the baby now in your hand and see how you will feel with all this. And she gave this me, and I was also surprised, you know, because, you know, she gave me something which I was also not supposed to get, you know. And yeah, that's how it came. The only thing I said is important for me. One thing I really wanted from her, that when she is doing this, she should not watch the mirror. She should watch the lens of the camera. Yeah, this was very important for me, because I wanted that she gave the message out over all this women in Iran that if you don't want to wear the hijab, the headscarf, you can take it off, like me. Join me in doing this. Yeah, I think that really comes through. It's a moment of sheer power, and it's, you know, she's so young, she's 16. What significance did the color red play? Because you have the red suitcase, you've got the red lighting when she's hiding in the bus. Why was that important to bring that all together? I mean, the red was not main in the beginning. I wanted the suitcase, and the suitcase was for me her heart. Mm. So I said to my actress, it's your heart, and I want you to keep it like close to your heart, that it can nearly take the place of your heart. And then the red, we said, heart red, let's take red. So this was the main intention, that it's her heart. So that's why everything what is in the luggage, I also picked up one by one to prepare what should be in her heart. And then we go through this, and also the flowers were red. You know, I wanted this thread to be also in the flowers, because he put the flower like he's putting the heart of the girl on the floor, you know, because it's the same color. Yeah. And then came in the bus, where I wanted also the curtain to be red to have a reminder. But the most important, when we are in the trunk, this guy is taking the luggage away, like ripping her heart off. And then the trunk is being closed. And I was really insisting that we should have the red color there, because the red color for me at that point was the memory of her still having for her luggage. The luggage is gone. But how you say visually that's still thinking about this luggage? I said, you cannot show with a voiceover. I said, let's put a red light, that this will be the main acting in the whole trunk. and she is in the middle of luggages, I mean, suitcases, which are not red anymore, but the red light is there. So it was for me significant.
Yeah, where you can see the way it all pulls in. You mentioned earlier sort of not having a narrative. There's very little dialogue in the film. Why did you make that decision?
First of all, I think things in life rarely happen in dialogues. You know, you can say to somebody, "I love you," but through your actions, you see you don't love her, or you know, you say, "I love you," but because you're scared to say, "I don't love you." You know, things are not happening in dialogues. First of all, so all constructed himself in the not dialogue, and second of all is also, even if she can talk, nobody will understand her. So the words she can use is even not useful. So.
Yeah.
It was a clear way that in either way, it would be not enough, not a lot of dialogues to express these girls inside.
Yeah. And sort of talking about, you know, significant things with her language, and also the fact that it's all art in her suitcase. Because, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but in Iran, there's a lot of sanctions on what you can produce and what you're allowed to show. So why specifically did you choose art?
Because art is prohibited. I mean, you cannot do every art you want. You can do just art they are giving you. And if you see in these paintings, you see hairs.
Yeah.
I don't think this kind of painting would be acceptable. So I wanted to have something like this in the luggage. And also, in the moment when she's taking the headscarf off, for me, it was important that it should be the headscarf on this, you know, this visually black stuff falling on art, to say that the black is eating the art, like the government is not accepting art. For me, it was visually interesting to show it like this also.
Yeah. No, it's beautiful. You've got so many sort of little visual cues and hints at the film. And so, I mean, in terms of what people perceive from your film and what they're able to see, how important is this Oscar nomination for you?
The point where this Oscar nomination is important for me is that we have more visibility. This is making me really happy, and especially today, because in the moment we are talking together, our young generation of Iranian women and men together, hand in hand, are in the streets and being gunshot and killed, but they are fighting for their freedom. So if somehow I can even little contribute in this, it makes me really proud, and that's the nomination for me, that I can somehow perhaps be on their side from here.
Yeah. Yeah. Brilliant. And what are you working on next then?
I have a future movie, which is the story of a 6-year-old boy who, with his mother, is fleeing from the revolution of Iran. They land in Luxembourg finally, and they are living in the camp, where the boy gets befriended with a very old Russian woman who also taking shelter. This is the story where two people will get befriended, but they don't even speak the same language. They don't have the same culture. They cannot even understand each other, but they get friends. And that's for me very interesting.